Hey guys, what's going on? It's BradPhusion here, and today I'm playing some more Space Engineers, and in today's video I'll be covering two things. The first thing is solar panels, which was added in today's or this week's update, and refineries and assemblers, and the best ways to set them up for your survival world. So first things first, solar panels. These are an alternative, well these are pretty awesome, that's what I was originally going to say, but these are an alternative to going through uranium or to using a reactor. Now, whilst you think that is pretty cool, that power output is really quite low. So I have one here by itself, and I have a small ship one over there as well. So for a large solar panel, its maximum output is actually displayed here at 5.08 kilowatts, not 4.96, which is what it gave me beforehand. Even now it is at 5.08. Compare that to a reactor, which has an output of 5 megawatts. So that's a bit of a difference, and I'll get to that difference in a second. For a small ship, you have one over here, which if I actually get in, you can see that its output is 1.4 kilowatts, and a small reactor is 100 kilowatts. So I got a little bit curious as to wondering how many of these would be the equivalent to a small reactor. So I did the math. I've already forgotten the number, but I did the math, and I also did a visual representation. This right here, it keeps going. All this here is equal to the same power output as one small reactor. I'm gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going. I'm flying quite quickly actually. I'm still going, and the three little ones on the end. Do you want to know exactly how many this takes? I will tell you exactly how many this takes, so I'll actually put the number in over here because I knew I would probably forget it. The number is 873. So 873 solar panels is equal to one small reactor. Now that's quite a big number. So whilst I wouldn't use this primarily for powering a base, it would be a good occasional backup. Now, I did a few tests, or at least a little bit of math, to try and figure out how many solar panels I'd need to power maybe just one refinery. 113. 113 solar panels to power one refinery or one assembler. That's, yet again, quite a lot. But if you use them coinciding with if you use solar panels as well as reactors, you'd probably cut down a fair bit on the uranium usage because of a small percentage of the power would be coming from solar panels. So that was the solar panels update. They've also made it that thrusters now damage blocks and items surrounding them, including players as well. Now, whilst they don't actually damage you when they're not thrusting, they deal quite a fair amount of damage when they are thrusting. So I can give you an example of that right now. I have heavy armor blocks here and light armor blocks here. I'll do light armor first. So if I thrust, you can see how much is actually warping, and it is warping quite a lot. If I go over to heavy armor, it warps very, very little. Now, what surprised me is the fact that very little damage was actually done to the blocks. That's all on 99%, and over here, you'd think, wow, that looks like quite a bit. It's still 99%. Now, don't fear, you can actually just weld and it will reform back to its original state. Now there's a funny reason why I'm actually using my ship from my survival series, and that's because the original placement of the thrusters was actually where these grey blocks are. And what I didn't realize was when they updated this, those thrusters actually burn the cockpit, and I will show you guys that right now by thrusting backwards. There you guys have it. Now moving on to the second thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, and that is the refineries and assembler setup. Now currently in my survival world, I'm getting to the point where I'm building a fair amount of these. So I decided to go to a creative world and try to put these in a way that would minimize space and maximize output. So I've got a few setups here, some using conveyors and some not. Currently conveyors don't work in the game, that's why I have two groups over here that don't use them, and I have all these over here that do. So right now, this is an alright one. This has refinery, conveyor, refinery, conveyor, refinery, conveyor. So conveyor, sorry, replace conveyor with assembler, and they're all connected at the back here. If I actually remove this, you guys can see that these two panels here are coincide, sorry, with the two either side here. If you didn't already know, when a refinery is connected to more than one assembler, it will split its what it's currently processing. So if it's processing, say, 1 kilogram of gravel per second, 0.5 of that will go to one assembler and another 0.5 will go to the other assembler. That's if you have two. So that's why I'm trying to create something that can easily spread whatever it's creating amongst all of the assemblers. Now currently, without the conveyors, it's a little bit difficult to get stuff from, say, this refinery to an assembler over here. You wouldn't be able to do that. Instead, you've got this setup here where these two refineries can put into that, these two can put one into that, these two can put into that, and so on, so. The next setup is basically the same thing, just laying down. If you didn't have a very tall base, or you wanted maybe multiple floors, this one would work alright for you as well. But let's move on to conveyors, because I find them to be the most interesting. Now, the way I've got a lot of these set up is that all of the refineries are connected directly to conveyors before they are connected to assemblers. What this means, or what this allows, is that all of the resources can be spread evenly between all of the assemblers, instead of going to an assembler and then maybe some of it going towards another conveyor, towards another assembler. What was that flicker? I don't know, did you guys see that? Anyways, this is probably the most efficient or the most effective setup I have right now. And this is four refineries attached to a row of conveyors that are then attached to a row of assemblers. So what this means that this refinery here would process something, it would send it into one conveyor, which would go through all of the conveyors and then go into all of the assemblers if that's how conveyors work. I'm kind of hoping that's how they do. At least that's how I'd think they would. The only downside to this is that to access the refineries you have to go to the back. No biggie, but I think that's probably the most effective thing, the most effective setup, because you could easily access as many assemblers as you want, get all these building, whatever you want. So that's for that update, or that's for that setup. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I hate it when I pause like that. This next setup here is very much similar to what I have in my current survival world, just minusing all the conveyors on the back. So what you have here is a refinery assembler, refinery assembler, refinery assembler, but all of the assemblers are connected together using a whole row of conveyors at the back. So everything that comes from a refinery will go into the conveyors, and that will be split between all of the assemblers. Whilst this isn't very efficient on space, it does put it in like a really thin line here, so you can only take up one side of your base if you wanted to, instead of a block like this. It just really depends on how you feel. Now the last few here are more so cosmetic appearances, but they still, you know, are pretty efficient in their own way. This one here has, yet again, 4 refineries. I think I'm stuck to 4 refineries for the most part for all of these, and it has 6 assemblers. And the way these are connected here is, if you noticed, actually I'll go back to the front for a second. If you notice, the bottom assembler is 1 block further forward than the top assembler, and I'll show you why now. So the way this works is it has a row of conveyors at the back, and in between the assembler, and you guys can see the other assembler there is a conveyor block sitting right here. Now what this does is this connects this assembler to the 2 refineries, and it connects the top assembler also to the 2 refineries, whilst also connecting it to the row of conveyors at the back here that spreads it through all the rest as well. So that's how that works. The only problem again with this is that it's a bit difficult to reach the refinery, so you have to go up the stairs to do that. Other than that, I think this one actually looks really, really cool. It looks like what I'd imagine some sort of factory kind of thing. This one over here is a little bit different. What I've done is I've actually stuck the refineries on their sides so that you can actually stick something on top of them. Normally you couldn't do that. You can't stick stuff on top, obviously, as you guys can see. But if you have it on its side, you can actually stick stuff there. So what I've done is I've actually stuck it on the side and stuck a row of assemblers along the top, and then another row of refineries there as well. So that means I have 8 refineries and 6 assemblers. These are all connected at the back using one small row of conveyors. This is very efficient on the conveyors, and all of these are actually connected. Actually, are these all connected? They should be. Yeah, they are. I don't know why I thought they weren't for a second, then I was getting a bit worried. Let me put this back here. So yeah, all of these and all their resources through the conveyors, then they all go towards the assembly at the front. This one, yet again, you can walk around, oh, and you can actually access the refineries from here as well. And to get to the other one, you need to go upstairs, which you can easily do over... I said easily, jeez. You can easily go up here, and you can access the refinery here as well. So that's it for this one, and the last one is a little bit special. It's a little different, it's a little weird, and I just thought I'd throw it in there anyways, because when I was making this one, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if this was on its side like that, and you could just basically stand under here, and then reach whatever you needed to? So that's basically what I did with this one over here. I made it so that you can access all the refineries on the ground here, and you can also access all the assemblers. So this minimizes workplace space, so you can easily go here, drop whatever you want in, go up here and grab whatever you need. However, this isn't very efficient on space, and you'll see that from at the top here. Now this looks like a bit of a mess, but let me just get rid of this so I can actually show you how this works. So here you have the ports for the refineries, one per refinery, and then you have a row here of the this is the assemblers. Yes, it is. I could have another row of conveyors so that they're closer to the ground, but I just left it how it is. So all I've done with the conveyor blocks is I've gone 1, 2, 3, same here, 1, 2, 3, and then yet again on this side here as well. Sorry. Yeah, like that. Now I could have done it another way by going, like, say for example, like that. And what that would mean is that this would have to travel through all that first, so it would come around and look like that. So that's how that one would actually work. And like I said, appearance-wise, it's alright. Like, I like these two for their appearance. Sorry, I like these three for their appearance, but they're not as efficient as the first few, especially this one here, because this one here, smallest on space, a maximum number of assemblers, and very minimal cost in terms of resource usage. But anyways, I thought this would be an interesting little thing for you guys to see, and it's a little bit different from my normal survival series, but I guess it's more like a tip, or more like an experiment sort of thing. So if you guys want to utilize this for your survival world, you're more than welcome to do so. I might put this up on the workshop if you guys want it, so you guys can look at it and then try and maybe copy it over to your world. Anyways, I'll leave this here, so thank you guys for watching, and let me know which one you think is your favourite. The first one, the second one, third one, fourth one, or fifth one, or whether you like the two over here without using the actual conveyors. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, see you guys next time.